Topline podcast episode 1. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm doing what I thought I would never do, what I hoped I would never do, which is start a podcast post-grad. And yet, here we are. I'm going to use this as sort of an extension of what I've been doing on socials with Topline, which I imagine you know of. I'm guessing most people who are going to be finding this will be finding it through that channel. In which case, thank you for coming. If not, just kind of, it's going to be pop commentary, pop music commentary. Going to try to keep sort of a focus on the numbers, on the charts, and it should be a good time. I've really enjoyed doing that over on socials. I've been doing it for about 2.5 months now. It's been a lot of fun for me, and this kind of did just feel like a logical next step, as much as I know that the world does not need another white boy at the mic. If you're here, I'm going to assume that you're down with the program. And with that said, going to use the space to talk about the charts, the Billboard charts specifically. I mean, have been doing that on socials weekly, which is fine, but I think this will give me more chance to talk around it, because when I was doing it there, I was kind of just like going through the list, which is fine, but this will be a bit more exciting. So that's Billboard 200, Album 200, Hot 100, and Global Chart. So we're talking about that today. Also going to use this as a space to kind of just pick up loose ends that may have things that maybe didn't warrant a video or are more just kind of more train of thought style. Like today we're talking about Renee, Rapp, and Yeat, which I'm very excited to talk about. But that's what you're gonna get here. But it's gonna be good, okay? I'm telling you, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a massive vibe. And if you don't believe me, stay the course for this episode, as will I. We're gonna kind of figure this out together. And if you are just listening to this is a video too, on YouTube, maybe on Spotify. I gotta figure out how this all works. But I trust me, if you're just listening, you're not missing much. But what you are missing is that I am in uniform. The Topline uniform stays on for the pod. This is unfiltered raw, but gotta stay consistent at the same time. I'm also on my floor. You're kind of getting a backstage look here at Topline HQ. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, lots of good stuff. And with that, I'm not going to waste so much of your time on this intro. I already have 3 minutes. Let's jump right in. Starting with the Billboard charts. Again, I start off here on the Hot 100 this week. This is the chart. It will be dated this will be for the chart dated. I don't know. Okay. It'll be the chart dated sometime next week. They release these top 10s, then they release the chart later, but the chart, I think it'll be like the 21st or the 22nd or the 23rd, something like that. It's not really important. I spent way too much time on that. Let's jump into the Hot 100. We have Golden at number 1 for a 5th week. That's the most for an animated series. It's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's been so strong, especially over on streaming. It's been absolutely unreal. So I don't think this comes as much of a surprise. It's funny, I was thinking back to a few weeks ago. It was unclear if this was going to dethrone Ordinary. And I remember people saying, like, if it doesn't happen this week, it won't happen. Well, now Golden has just maintained such longevity here. I think we're probably on the back end of the K-pop Demon Hunters thing, but still pretty remarkable. Alex Warren's still at number 2, Ordinary. Again, this is a solid hit. This will stick around for quite a while. Sabrina Carpenter actually up a spot with Manchild at number 3. That album's had decent consistency. We'll talk about that in the album section. But yeah, Manchild definitely sticking on. It's pretty strong. I kind of thought Tears would. Well, Tears is here. We'll get to it. But yeah, I kind of surprised Manchild is still reigning supreme. Then we got Your Idol and Soda Pop at number 4 and 5. Again, K-pop Demon Hunters both up a spot. These ones have also picked up some momentum a little bit. They work a little bit slower to click than the Huntrix ones. Glad they're here. Not even going to talk about the AI thing. I have thoughts, but I'll save them for now because it's a whole can of worms. You can look into that if you'd like. Number 6, we have Sabrina Carpenter with Tears, down 3 spots, still holding on decently. I think it's a good song. The song's grown on me a lot. When it first came out, I was thinking, this is not the single. I couldn't believe that this was what they were going with. It has grown on me though. Still a little bit surprised it was the choice. But yeah, doing all right for What I Want at number 7. How It's Done, Huntrix, number 8. Number 9, Raven Lene, Love Me Not, Song of the Summer. I'm telling you, this was low-key Song of the Summer. Good to see it hanging on. And Justin Bieber up with Daisies, up a spot to number 10, back in the top 10 this week. Notably kicking off Lose Control, ending its top 10 reign, which is really good to see. I think that song will probably fall off this chart rather quickly here now. And then jumping over to the 200, the Billboard 200 album chart. Again, K-pop Demon Hunters up to number 1 this week with the album. That means they hold the number 1 spot on the Hot 100 and the 200. Well, technically on the song chart on the Hot 100, Huntrix has the number 1, whereas here it's K-pop Demon Hunters is how the artist is listed, or it might be like various artists, but so it's not technically they don't technically hold the spot on both charts. That's a technicality. They functionally do. 128K units. This is a juggernaut. Again, I would venture to guess we'll probably see this die out in the next month or so, but really cool to see this one get to number 1. And again, such consistent numbers. And this must be, I actually don't know how much radio this is getting. Oh, I mean, radio won't count for an album chart anyway. So this is just streaming, I imagine. Maybe they're doing some kind of peer sales. This one might do okay in peer sales, but this is just this thing is just streaming massive. I'm gonna jump over to the Spotify charts right now. I'll go to the global chart. Well, this is a US chart, so I'll go to the US. On US Spotify today, Golden, Your Idol, and Soda Pop are the top 3 tracks, and then How It's Done, What It Sounds Like, are also in the top 10, and Takedowns at number 11, and Freeze at number 13. Like, this thing is streaming like no other album really this year has, which is just insane. Then Man's Best Friend at number 2, Sab Carp, 119K, down 1 spot, but still pretty consistent. I made a video about this, talking about how first week she beat Short and Sweet, second week she did not beat Short and Sweet. This is lower than Short and Sweet second week. That album just had so many heaters. I mean, it had Please Please Please, Taste, and Espresso all kind of smashing for quite a while. When the album came out, that really supported its streaming. And it also had a couple of other, like, I think when it first came out, I think Bedchem was doing well initially. And then what's that other song? There's another song from that album that was, I think Good Graces was like smashing initially. So like this album has like those songs too. Nobody's Son, When Did You Get Hot are kind of like the album tracks that are picking up steam. But this is all to say, like, yes, it makes sense that it didn't outsell Short and Sweet in the second week. Still a pretty good performance. Down a spot. I'll be curious to see how this one legs out. I think it could probably hang out here in the top 5 for a few more weeks at least. Morgan Wallen down to number 3 with I'm the Problem. Nice to see him, still at number 3. Maybe he'll go up again, but 98K, dip below that 100K mark. And then this is the real story of the chart for me this week. Justin Bieber's Swag at number 4 with 80K, up 13 points. So much to say about this. One, I'll just say right off the bat, this is an underperformance in my book. This is a 44 song album, and I'm vindicated because they're counting this as a deluxe album of Swag. This is not listed as Swag 2. This is listed as Swag because Swag 2 is a deluxe album. They're the same album. I made a video about this. Got a lot of pushback for saying that. Now we see it's the case. And I think this is probably just streaming sales. I don't think they had any kind of physicals. I mean, maybe some kind of digital sales, but still 80K. I would have expected he did over 100 with that many songs, with 44 songs. JB. I mean, it's still like a good performance. And if we're gonna call it a deluxe album, then okay. But the thing is that Swag 2 hasn't really had any like breakout. It hasn't had a Daisies. Because last week, the Spotify streaming didn't report for like 5 days, which was my personal nightmare. So it's kind of a mystery how this album was faring there, or like if it had a breakout track. And I would have thought it would have been Speed Demon. I mean, that was like kind of what was poised to be. It was like the opener or close to the opener. It was kind of poised to be like the Daisies, but it hasn't charted very well in terms of on streaming. Like, it hasn't streamed crazy. He hasn't had anything charting here and hasn't all week. On the streaming charts. So really kind of no surprise. But I do feel vindicated because I still stand by the fact that this was a sales play, and to me, this isn't underperformance. Granted, he had a big debut earlier this summer when Swag initially came out. I digress. Number 5, we have Alex Warren, You'll Be Alright Kid, 38K, hanging on pretty well, same spot as last week. SZA's SOS, up 3 spots this week with 33K. Not sure if that's just a streaming bump or if there was some kind of physical sales. Probably just a little streaming bump, because it's not, 33K is not huge numbers. In a different week, that may land her lower. And then also at 33K, One Thing at a Time, Morgan Wallen. If this is any indication, we're going to see I'm the problem here forever. I listen to Morgan Wallen from time to time. There's a handful of songs from him that I actually quite like. So I'm not quite on the. I'm fine that he's here. Okay. Then we have Stray Kids, Karma, number 8, hanging on better than I thought it would. I think this is its 3rd week on the chart, 3rd or 4th, and the fact that it's still in the top 10, I have to give them some credit, because I think that when this one debuted at number 1 with like all pure sales. Not all pure sales, very, very heavily pure sales weighted. And I was like, I think I was thinking that they were going to totally careen off this top 10. And not that they're doing crazy numbers, but still in the top 10, 32K, respectable. Then Gunna, another kind of a surprise for me. Like, there just hasn't been very many commercial trap albums lately, ones that have performed really well. And maybe this is kind of because of that, that it's hung on. I think this must be its 5th week on the chart or something like that, and it's pretty remarkable to me that it's done the way it's had, that it's done as good as it has. Do we put an asterisk next to this after the Young Thug phone call leaks where he basically admitted to botting Gunna's first week? I mean, we know he's not doing it now, so I guess if anything, this looks more honest than ever. Let's go, the last one. And I think that some of these tracks from this album are still streaming pretty well on Apple Music, which is sort of like the hip hop streamer, or hip hop always does better on Apple Music than it does on Spotify. I'm just looking at the Apple Music top charts today, and yeah, WGFT is at number 3 still. So streaming, this one's streaming pretty well. It seems like. I'm trying to see if anything else from the album is charting on Apple Music. Forever Be Mine with WizKid is at number 50. So yeah, it seems like this one is streaming pretty well. Good for Gunna. Always good to see hip hop doing well. It struggles nowadays, so you love to see it. And then another good story here. Somber's I Barely Know Her, up 2 spots in its 2nd week to number 10. That's its top 10 debut. Last week it was at number 12. Didn't debut. I remember saying did that album come out? This might be its 3rd week on the chart. I think it's its 2nd though. But yeah, I thought this one would perform better in its 1st week than it did. I was surprised he didn't debut in the top 10, just purely based on Undressed and Back to Friends. They're just juggernauts. I mean, they just stream crazy. I think they're doing really well on radio too. I need to double check that, but yeah. So the fact that this is up is good. A good sign for him. 12 to 12 has been streaming really well. Like, that one has seriously picked up some steam. It's number 15 on US Spotify today, which means it's ahead of Undressed for him, which is so good. I like 12 to 12 a lot, and I just root for Somber. I like to root for my pop boys. Okay. And so the fact that he seems to be gaining is good. I'm not sure. There may have been some kind of, like, again, physical, some kind of vinyl shipments or something this week that they missed first week. I'm unsure. Still really good to see, and I think if he can continue to stream well, like, he should be able to match these numbers next week at least, because I don't really see his streaming going down this week. Excuse me. Okay, and then the global chart, which honestly I don't really follow very closely. I don't know why. I probably should follow it more closely. I guess I just am more knowledgeable about the US streaming landscape, or sales landscape, and this chart's not that interesting. The main reason I was going to talk, just only in the sense that it doesn't differ that much from the US chart, except for that K-pop Demon Hunters on this chart takes up 4 of the top 5 spots, with Golden at number 1, Soda Pop at number 3, Your Idol at number 4, and How It's Done at number 5, Alex Warren at number 2. Sabrina Carpenter with Tears. So Tears performing better globally than Manchild. Manchild's at number 9. Tears is at number 6 here, which is good. I mean, I think Tears is a better song. Back to Friends, number 7. What It Sounds Like, Huntrix, number 8. And then Manchild, number 9. And then the real reason I kind of want to talk about this was Dead Dance at number 10. And good for Gaga. Up a spot. It was at number 11 last week. Good for Gaga. Yeah, this one had some stream momentum, which it's kind of lost. Or not lost, but it's not... like, it was streaming better a week ago, I think, than it is now. Let me check what it's at. Is it even on the global anymore? Oh, yeah, it's down at number 38. Still good. Still really good. But yeah, just really good to see this one doing well internationally. And with that, I think that wraps up the chart portion. Hey, just in time. I was aiming to land about 15 minutes with that. And that brings me... Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a quick pause, quick break, and we'll be back with lots of good stuff you're not going to want to miss. We're talking Renee Rapp. We're talking Yeat. Come on. All right, we're back. So I've been listening randomly to Renee Rapp's new album a lot this week. Bite Me. It's called Bite Me. And it's an album that I pretty much paid no mind to when it came out. I mean, I listened to it once when it came out. I listened to the singles, thought they were okay, loved Mad. Mad is one of my favorite pop songs of the year, hands down. The other singles I didn't really pay much mind to, listened to them, dismissed them, and kind of similar to the album, I was like, it was what I thought it would be, which is a collection of boring pop songs. Wallpaper pop, and that's fine. I actually have a real love for that kind of stuff. It's not, a main pop star does not make. With that said, I've been turning it on this week when I'm doing other work. First, it came on, I think, on a day list or a daily mix, which I really, really, really rarely use. I kind of dunk on, I make fun of people who use day list and daily mixes, which I shouldn't do. But then I kind of sometimes I do dabble, specifically when I'm working. If I just need a vibe, I need to throw it on. That's when like a day list or a daily mix will come in handy. And I think that led to Renee Rapp being played. I don't remember what song it was. I think it was I Think I Like You Better When You're Gone. I think that was like my gateway where I was like, wait, this is kind of a vibe. Or again, like, this is good. This is perfect right now. Just like catchy background vibe. So I've been turning it on, and I gotta say I've been enjoying it. Or I'm not skipping songs when I'm doing that. Like, there's nothing here. Actually, that's not true. I am skipping Leave Me Alone. I don't really... I can't believe that was a lead single. I can, because it is sort of one of the more distinctive songs. It has some personality to it, and it has, like, the line about sex lives of college girls and some other line about, like, it has some, like, provocative stuff in it, which I guess is why it was the lead. It's also the first track on the album. I think it's probably my least favorite song on the album, to be honest with you. I couldn't even really tell you, though. I don't have I've been listening to it very much in the background, but I just thought it was funny because this is like such a anticlimactic release. Sorry to Renee Rapp. Like, you still, her voice is just killer, and she still has potential with that voice. But at this point, what are we? 3 albums in now? Maybe 2. I don't know if she was counting Everything to Everyone here. It looks like this is an EP. I mean, just look at... You don't even need to play the music. Look at the cover art. Everything to Everyone, Snow Angel, and Bite Me. They're basically the same cover, which is her mean mugging with messy hair on a background. Snow Angel is actually a fire album cover, though. And that's kind of the vibe of the music, too. Again, don't have anything negative to say, but also not entirely sure what they were going for. Like, what is this? What's the branding? I would love to, Renee, come on the show. Renee, please come on Topline. I would love to discuss this work with you, because I'm just a bit unclear what the goal was. I think the way I can most easily rationalize this artistically is that she was going for just a collection of great pop songs. And, like, I can see thinking that this is that if you made it. It's a collection of fine pop songs. In reality, if it was a collection of great pop songs. It could just be like aesthetically flat. It could just be that. But since it's not, it's really like like wallpaper pop. That's the best way I could think to describe it. And again, I found a great use for it. Their wallpaper pop exists for a reason. Y'all know I'm a pop purist here. I truly love pop music, and like for that, there's definitely space for Bite Me. So just wanted to mention that because I didn't make a video about it when it came out. I made a video like a week before it came out. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't made much noise. Although her top 10 on Spotify currently are all songs from this album. So at least, I mean, that won't always be true. That probably won't be true in a month. But still, pretty good. Good for her. And Mad remains the best song on this album. By far, it should have been a hit. But the production here is just so boring across the album and on Mad especially. Not especially, but case in point, like Omar Fetty, Carter Lang, Alexander 23, solo monophonic. A pretty good a good team of producers. Why is it so boring? I would have loved some more color here, something more. Not a bad album. I've talked about it for way too long, though. Moving on. I've also been listening to Yeat's new album. Is it a mixtape? Is it an album? Dangerous Summer. Came out a few weeks ago. Came out on August 1st. Yeah. A while ago, actually. I didn't realize that. But I listened to this album when it first came out. I don't think I listened to it all the way through when it first came out. I definitely listened to the FK Twig song and probably like the Don Toliver song. But this is another one that I've been throwing on shuffle. I went thrifting the other day, threw it on shuffle, and it was hitting so hard. Every song I was like, yes. Come and Go is my favorite one. It also seems to be kind of the hit, quote unquote. It has 22 million streams on Spotify. Not like smashing, but not doing too shabby. Looking now, I guess this is being billed as an EP, which is kind of weird. It's really long. This is 11 songs long. This is not an EP, Yeat. At least call this a mixtape. No, I guess this is an EP. No. But did 34K first week, which is respectable for what is, a long EP, but a short project. Very respectable numbers. I assume this is all streaming too. I could be wrong, but looks like it's about 50-50. Maybe they sold some kind of vinyl with this. 16K pure sales, 18K streaming. Still pretty good numbers. And that's funny, Yeat has gone from like, he was a full-blown meme rapper at first, I would say. And now he's I think like a pretty well-respected rapper, or I mean, at the very least, like he's one of the big names in hip hop right now. To tell you the truth, not even that many rappers. Not even that many rappers can post these kind of numbers, especially for a project like this. Like there are probably 20, maybe less, rappers who can do these kind of numbers right now. But I think I'm not super duper tapped into Yeat's career, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like he was kind of a meme rapper at first, right? So to see the turnaround is cool. Actually, it's quite cool. And yes, I know this is kind of like Yeat does Cardi does Future. It's fine with me as long as it's pretty good, and I think it is. Fun production, fun. Hooky, very hooky, and that's all I want. All I want is hooky, and Yeat's good at that. He comes from kind of the Playboi Carti school of hook trap, if you will. Also, he's on the new Drake and Julia Wolf single Doghouse, which his verse is pretty good actually. The rest of the song, Julia Wolf's verse, is also really good, but it should be the hook. I said that in the video I made about it. Why is that just an intro? It's so good. It's obviously the best part of the song. It's just amazing to me that wasn't in it a couple more times. That song, not charting on US Spotify today. Is it charting on global? Probably doing well on Apple Music. Let me see here. Sorry. It's not charting on Apple Music. I mean, on a global Spotify either. Let's see Apple Music. I'm sure it is pretty high. Um, yeah, it's here at number 24. Still not great though. I mean, it's less than a week old, maybe a week old. Yeah, less than a week old. Um, it's Drake, Yeat. Come on, this song could have been a smash. If only the Julie Wolf verse was a hook. So those are my kind of two. I don't know. Maybe I'll segment this. Say like, this is what Topline's listening to this week. I probably won't. I'm still, you guys, okay, let me just level with you here. I don't really know what this show is going to be. What I intend it to be is just like discussion of pop music. Oh, that's what Topline is. Yeah, and that's what this is going to be, but a little more casual. And these are two things that came to mind this week that I wanted to talk about. But again, am I really going to make a video about the Yeat album a month and a half after it comes out? It's just not going to happen. So this is the perfect space to put it. Yeah, and I had some kind of framework I was going to talk. At some point I would like to make this like a little bit more robust, as like more analytical, and like I'm making studious points that people respect me for. But episode 1, we're just playing around. We're just getting to know each other. I was going to talk about like how Yeat is a sign of what happens in hip hop and meme culture, etc., etc. You know what? I think I said enough though. I've been enjoying this album. Have you checked out the Yeat album? Comment down below if you have. The last kind of topic I want to talk about today is that I saw a tweet. I'm going to pull it up right now. I saw a tweet today responding actually to a Lip Predicts tweet, which was funny. If you're on pop Twitter, I have a feeling you know Lip Predictions. The original tweet says, by the way, I am on Twitter, which I think is in most like everyday life, people kind of like look at you funny when you say that, or I mean, I don't know. It's just like a lot of people aren't on it anymore. Although I think pop fans of demographics are, so maybe it won't be weird to you guys. But I do love X. So the original tweet, it's about Doja Cat's Jealous Type, and it says, It's so concerning to me that a song as good as this isn't anywhere near the top of the chart. Let me first say I couldn't agree more. Jealous Type is such a good song. It's Doja Cat's best lead single, IMO, and I can't believe it's not. It looked like it was picking up steam there for a while, and now it's totally dropped off. I still have hope for it. I really do. And if not for it, Gorgeous sounds like such a smash. I'm really hyped for this album. I think it's going to be Doja's best. Anyway, that's not really the point. The point is somebody responded. Should I be anonymous? You can go find it if you want to. Somebody quote tweeted it, or I don't even know if that's what this means, but this, by the way, the original tweet has, I don't know how many likes, not that many. I just have a screenshot here, but the response tweet has 40K likes. So caught some people agree here, and it says, "Enjoy music as a music lover, not as a data mine, and you'll prosper." And this gets to a core critique of pop music that I hear, and more even of pop music fans and of pop music listeners, which I certainly am one. And I think it's a real misunderstanding of like what people like about chart watching, and like why that's fun for people, why that's something that, at least I'll speak for myself, maybe for some people, like the charts really do encompass their music taste. For me, there is certainly a Venn diagram. There's a center section of a Venn diagram, a sizable section, I'll say, when it comes to the overlap between my music taste and the charts. I like pop music. I really do. And I am... There are certainly arguments against this to be made, but I do think that there is something to be said about, like, yeah, the charts, there's no good music ends up at the top of the charts. Like, yeah, people like it. That's why it's doing so well. And I know there are kind of a million different rebuttals you could have to that, but kind of at the most basic level, that is true. But what's more is that the numbers, well, I love the numbers. I love, oh my God, you guys, I love the numbers. I love looking at streams. I love looking at the charts. That's the whole base. That is why I started this account. But it's very not, it's pretty separate from my music taste. I will say the numbers are pretty much entirely separate from my music taste. Like, there are so many artists I listen to that have no listeners. It really doesn't inform the way I see the music. And I also love it. And I also am obsessed with following the charts. And like, I think that that's most people's story. So I think that this, like, enjoy music as a music lover, not as a data mine. And like, why not both? Okay, why not both? I think I do enjoy it as both. And I do think that this is like a core critique of pop music, of people who like pop music, or people who kind of follow pop music, is that like their music taste. This is like you guys, this is kind of a personal issue for me, if I'm being honest with you. You know who I'm talking about. If you, the person who I'm talking about knows I mean, they're not listening to this. They probably are listening to this. It's it's like, it's perfect, because if they're not, they'll never hear this, and if they are, they're weird for listening to this. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, I get comments all the time on my videos on socials that are like, numbers aren't everything. Like, why do you base your opinion on music on numbers? And it's just such a fundamental misunderstanding of what I do, why I care about the numbers. I don't base my opinion of the music on the numbers almost at all. Do you use the charts as a barometer for what's good for your taste? I could honestly say I don't think I do. Although maybe the fact that a tweet like this kind of angered me the way it did, maybe I should do some reflecting on that. One last little thing here is that I also just saw a tweet from Hip Hop All Day on Twitter that says only four hip hop songs are charting on today's global Spotify chart, the lowest number in the chart's 9-year history. On this exact day 5 years ago, over 56 rap songs from the chart. If this is not the most scathing example, or the most scathing data point to show you that hip hop is in a commercial tough spot, I mean, come on. This will really show it to you. Which I've talked about to death. That's the reason I would make another video about this, but I've made like 4 videos in the last month about the death of hip hop. Not the death of hip hop, just the commercial lull of hip hop. I made a bunch of videos about it. This would have been a perfect one to make, but I still wanted to talk about it here. Just a little fact to back that claim that I've made on many occasions, which is that hip hop is no longer the commercial force it was 5 years ago. Sad to see. What if it'll change? I mean, it will change. It will change, but it could take a while. It could take a decade or more, for all I know. I mean, I think it won't like completely fade. There will always be hip hop hits to some degree. So that's gonna be my question to you. Why is hip hop going away? With that said, I think that wraps up the inaugural episode of Topline Pod. I don't know if it's gonna be called Topline Podcast, Topline Pod. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would love feedback. This was really just like a try it out kind of episode, and I'm probably gonna watch this back and want to redo it, but I'm gonna try not to allow myself to, because I think that the beauty of this platform, as opposed to my video content or my short form content, is that like this is more unfiltered, more raw. I'm not doing this. You guys should see me filming my TikToks. Like I will do 10 takes of a sentence. Not doing that here. Not doing that here at all. But with that said, like, let me know what's working and what doesn't. I was contemplating, should I do the charts first, or should I do kind of the other commentary first? I decided to put the charts first, but if that is that might be a bad idea. Maybe I should put the charts kind of back half, because I think that's probably more boring. You tell me, and I'll adjust. Also, I mean, I don't think very many people are going to see this, to be honest with you. So if you are seeing this, come on, level with me. Especially if you made it to this point, that's truly remarkable. Thank you, and good on you. I'll be back next week, and yeah, I have big plans for this. Okay, we're gonna have guests. And we're gonna talk pop. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you guys soon. Topline out.